As you're scrolling through your social media feed, do you ever stop and think, am I the only person that's out here that's not making at least 6 figures a year? Well, in today's video, I just wanted to talk a little bit about one of the biggest lies that are being told on social media today. And that is that it is so easy to make 6 figures every single year. Every time I log on social media, video after video starts to play, and it's always somebody talking about how easy it is to make 6 figures a year or how hard it is to live on 6 figures a year. I mean, you've probably seen those videos where it talks about how making $100,000 a year is basically like minimum wage. And every time I see those videos, I just laugh. If you look at the data and the statistics, right? If you look online, you'll see that between 15 to 16% of all Americans in the United States make at least $100,000 a year. But if you log on to social media, everybody's making $100,000 a year or more, which is completely ridiculous. So whenever you see these people talking about how they're taking these vacations and how they make, so much money every single month, it's a lie. The majority of people are living on credit and lies. I mean, that's really what it is. I mean, on top of only 15 to 16% of all people in the US making a minimum of $100,000 a year, we also have a credit card crisis in this country where we have surpassed over $1 trillion in credit card debt. So the next time you're scrolling online and you see somebody riding around in a nice car or doing a video talking about how easy it is to make 6 figures a year or how hard it is living off of 6 figures a year, just know that it's likely not true. So I was talking to my brother the other day and we were just talking about the differences in all of the social media platforms out there. And it was pretty funny as we sat down and we started to talk about it, because TikTok is where people go to watch either people doing dances or funny skits and things of that nature. Instagram, there are people that do skits on there, but Instagram is where people go to lie about their lifestyle. And it's pretty funny because my brother, he lives out on the West Coast. He said that there are places where he lives in Southern California where you can go in and it's like a studio that's set up and it'll look like that you're inside of a private jet. And there's so many people that rent these spaces out and they do videos and they take pictures to give the illusion of how successful they are. And that to me is completely ridiculous. So when I think about Instagram, I think about people lying about their lifestyle and lying about how luxurious their life actually is. And then when you look at Facebook, I look at Facebook like, hey, that's like going into your yearbook, right? It's like you're going back to the high school days and it's generally an older demographic that's on Facebook. But one common thread of all these social media platforms is that everybody seems to be doing so well. So well, in fact, where I think we're heading towards a recession. If we're not heading towards a recession, I think we're getting extremely close to that. With the stock market pulling back and lots of big companies laying people off, there's no way that people can still get online and portray that they're doing so well. Now, I'm not gonna say that's 100% of people that are online. There are some people that get online and they show their lifestyle or they talk about how to make money or they talk about how they made it to where they are. There are definitely some genuine people out there. But for the vast majority of people that are on there showing their lifestyle, taking photos, have the nice clothes, they're broke. They're dead broke. And I don't say that because I want to talk down on someone. I just realize that we have a culture where we go online and we see people and we think they're doing so well. And that kind of gets people to do things that they normally wouldn't do. So a couple of the things that I would suggest that you not do when you go into social media and you see people portraying how wonderful their life is. Don't put yourself in debt to try to keep up with the Joneses. That's one of the biggest issues that I see, especially with the younger generation, because whenever I was younger, that's what happened to me. I think a lot of people, like the first time they actually start to get in debt, it's credit card debt. And when I was younger, we didn't have social media. We still had influences, but we didn't have the social media influence that we have today. So I think that's kind of multiplied how much people are actually trying to keep up with the Joneses. They see people online buying certain clothes, driving certain cars, taking trips, and they want to do the same thing. And they'll put themselves in debt to do this. And that's a very dangerous game that you're playing, especially if you're a young person that's just starting out and you're trying to build a life. Doing these types of things can really set you back 10, 15, 20 years down the road. And the next thing that I would caution people into blindly following is if you want to create on social media, you want to have your own channel, you want to have your own platform, I think that's completely fine. That's the great thing about social media. Anybody can pick up a camera, anybody can start a channel and have a platform and get their voice out there. But there's so many people nowadays that are quitting their jobs, going full-time on the social media route. And for a lot of people, it doesn't work out. See, I do this as a hobby. Do I want this to be my full-time thing in the future? Possibly. But for right now, this is something that I do on the side. I like to make these videos for personal development and then potentially being able to supplement my income enough to where I can start to think about, can this be real? But for most people, social media is not going to replace the income of your full-time job. Not that it can't happen, but the fact that people get online, they talk about how easy it is, it really kind of manipulates people into thinking that they could do it and it's completely easy. I just like to caution because I don't want people to go out there and think that, you know, creating a platform is easy, or living this lavish lifestyle is easy, or everybody makes 6 figures or more and you're behind in life, because of the fact of the matter, that's just simply not true. So I'm not saying not to enjoy scrolling through social media. I think the biggest takeaway is to make sure that you understand that a majority of the things that you see online are simply just not true. And I personally know people that have went down the rabbit hole of following people on social media, blindly following them, and they're in a worse financial position today than they were before they actually started following that person. So what do you guys think? Is that simply just my feed, or does that happen to you too? I'd be curious to know how often videos are being promoted to people that talk about how easy it is to build a brand on social media, or how easy it is to make $100,000 a year, and in some cases $100,000 a month, right? How common is that on your feed? Let me know. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.